office here at Centerville, Virginia, at the local Panera Bread, and we are talking about Coffee to You and Me. So Coffee to You and Me is a program I've been doing now for about 14 years, helping entrepreneurs, business leaders, marketing professionals figure out the best way to do whatever they need to do to be more successful and make a higher contribution to our community. Today's topic is a special topic because it is actually the 7th topic in our 9-step process. And if you look at our 9-step process, what you see here is we're literally talking about how do you maximize trust and use relationships to really focus on creating the best kinds of teams that you possibly can accomplish for you and your business. So let's talk about that. How do you create a high performance team? Well, there's 2 simple ideas, and these ideas never fail. First idea is you've got to be committed. You've got to commit to the best. I mean, that sounds like it's a high-minded, idea, but you have to be willing to do it. You have to be willing to commit to just the best of everything, being the best, thinking the best, creating the best, and we're going to go into little details of that in a couple seconds here. But you also have to think about bringing your communications A game. This one's tough because for entrepreneurs, there's a lot to say. There's a lot of messages you want to get out. There's messages to your team, there's messages to your clients, there's messages to potential referral sources or to supporters or finance backers, and the messages are different because everybody has a different thing that they want to accomplish. You have to be very, very good at communication. And communication is not just about blah, blah, blah. What am I going to talk about? What I'm going to say? But it's all about listening, understanding and seeing what's going on in the marketplace and what's really working best. When you do this right, you got 2 things working for you as an entrepreneur. You're both an excellent recruiter of people, and you're a brilliant communicator. You have to be able to recruit people, and you have to be able to communicate brilliantly to the people that you do recruit, no matter where you are. So let's get into the details. First of all, committing to the best. Come on down, come on in, sit down here. Why don't you sit right here that way?
I'm not alone.
We can be a tight team. We can
You're
be all
gonna sit
together.
right there.
I tried to wait for you, but it was
No, I was running late.
too much for me. That's okay.
Wow.
So, by the way, they're recording this now.
Yes.
Famous.
From the Fairfax County Government channel.
Oh, great.
Is recording this for us.
Fairfax
So
County Government.
let's make sure we don't get too many Panera Bread logos in the scene because it'll be in the shot for them. So here we go. The first thing you got to do when you're talking about creating a high-performance team is be committed to being the best. You have to have a recruitment mindset. You literally have to understand how to look for talent, how to set up personal interviews, and how to develop development plans for the people that you're going to recruit. Because no one who's talented wants to come on to a team that doesn't have a track record, that can't prove that they're on the road to winning, whatever winning is. You got to be able to do that. And you have to, when you bring them on, you got to communicate to them effectively. I can't tell you how many people have said to me, I want business development people on my team. I need to get more business development people on my team. And then you go, okay, fine. How are you going to hire a business development person? And what they do is the same way they would hire an HR person or a marketing person is what they do to hire a business development person. And that doesn't work. One of the reasons it doesn't work is the core skill of being in business development is not about your resume or even how you interview. Being able to be good at business development is about how you handle rejection. So if you're going to recruit a business development person, the first thing you got to do is reject them. And see how they handle rejection. If they say to you something like, I understand that you're saying that there's a great opportunity and this is not a good fit for me here when it comes to what I'm doing. So, because you explain to me why it's not a good fit or what I might be able to show the next person differently so that I could, show up a little bit more prepared or a little bit better. That's what a good business development or salesperson is going to say when you reject them. They're not going to just go, okay,
and then go off.
I suck, and then move on. And that's not going to happen. So you have to learn to recruit the right people the right way for the skill, the talent, and the resources they're really going to bring to the table. So you have to get the best people. You can't look for if you look for the right people the wrong way, you're not going to get the best people. And if you look for the wrong people the right way, you're not going to get the best people. You have to look for the right people the right way.
Can I record it?
You sure can. in order to get the best
I'm
people.
not going to be able to write all this down.
It is very, very important.
Okay.
So how do you do that? Believe me when I tell you, talent is the foundation stone of all success. No matter what you do, people are going to function mostly around where their gifts are. And you have to be good. If you're going to be a recruiter, you got to be a good talent scout. You got to have to be good at noticing when people are doing something phenomenally well. Mm-hmm. And then trying to understand why they are so gifted at whatever they're doing. Because it might be a fluke.
Right.
You know, you see them doing something amazing and you go, oh, that was amazing. But then, you know, you look a little closer and you realize, that was a one-off.
Okay.
that really wasn't something they're going to consistently do.
Right.
So you need to see what underlying skills or underlying talents will make them consistent in whatever they do. It's very important that you be good at spotting talent. And if you're not good at spotting talent, you need to recruit somebody or hire somebody or bring somebody in that's good at spotting specifically the kind of talent that you're trying to get to. It's foundational to all success. The thing about talented people, though, is they have major egos. Major egos. And they don't just go, you know, whatever you say, boss. You're not going to be able to lead talented people. All you can do is facilitate their talent. You're not going to be able to dictate terms to them. You're not going to be able to tell them what to do. They already have talent. They already know that they're gifted. They already know that they're skilled.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
When you say, okay, you can't lead talented people. You have to facilitate people.
Right. I don't mean lead them you can't lead them in the old-fashioned way.
Okay.
We learn leadership, which is command and control.
Right. Okay.
You have to collaborate
Gotcha.
with talented people.
So it's not like, hey, okay, I'm a talented person, right?
Mm-hmm.
You say, Carlos, I need you to do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
That's leading them. But to facilitate them, you say, Carlos, I was thinking about doing such and such. What do you think?
Exactly.
Got you.
You have to collaborate.
Okay,
You cannot command and control or dictate terms to talented people. They won't take it. They won't tolerate it. They won't be happy.
Right.
And they won't work with you.
Okay.
You want people to work with you, not for you, not against you, but with you. Today's organizations are flattening, which means leadership is becoming a part of what everybody has to bring to the table. Not just the person who's guiding and directing. It is everybody who's responsible for the leadership. And the more collaborative you are, the better you're going to be at recruiting the right people and onboarding the right people and then maintaining the relationships with the right people like you want to. Very, very important. When you look for talented people, where are you going to look? You got to look at your close market. You got to look at places where you're already actively involved. And not just for the people, but for the people who might know the people. This is where your networking strategy is very, very important. Because I might not know everybody that I want to work for me. But I do have to know people who do know them. And maybe somebody else has identified some skills or some talents that I want to bring to the table. When I want to put together a mentorship program, maybe I should be looking for people who have put together mentorship programs before. That will tell me, this is the way to do that. This is the smartest way to do that. Maybe I need to have them in my inner circle. Or if I'm trying to put together some type of business development program or marketing program or consulting program, instead of trying to Google search this idea and come up with the crapshoot of whoever got great SEO on it, right? I need to reach out to my friends, my associates, and learn the skill of networking so that I can now bring the best into my group, validated by other people who already know are great. Because no one's going to leverage their brand or their trust with somebody else who's horrible. You know, if I ask you to introduce me to a friend to do whatever, you're going to ask me, what are you going to do? Time out. What is this all about? What are you going to do with my friend? What are you going to do with my relationship? And if I'm not good at helping you understand that, no, I'm trying to figure out an opportunity for this person. I'm trying to make sure that, you know, they're doing the right thing. I'm doing the right thing. And if you're not secure in that, you're going to give me a weak referral.
Right.
Versus a strong referral. And that makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they may be looking for, you know, something. And the last thing you want to do is, as the source of the information, be embarrassed.
Right.
You're not going to be embarrassed.
Right.
So if you don't know me, you don't like me, you don't trust me, what are you going to do? You're going to give me the lowest thing you possibly can give me in terms of a person, just to shut me up and get me out, and just to make sure that, you know, and that's not what you want to do. So you want to bring your A game, your communications game has to be at very, very, very high levels in order to really get there. Look at your current market. Look at where things are right now. Understand what the ecosystem is. Do a SWOT analysis on yourself. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What opportunities might you have? What threats are you have to dealing with? Because that's going to give you a lot of places to figure out where the holes are. And when you start looking for talents and stuff, maybe you want to look for opposite skills than the ones that you currently have.
Okay.
For every skill you have, every talent you have, every gift you have, there's an opposing skill. And it's not a negative skill, it's a positive skill.
Right.
Like if you have sort of what they say, the gift of gab, right? You're a talker. Maybe you're not so good of a listener.
Right.
And vice versa, if you're a listener, maybe you're not so good of a talker. So I'm an introvert. Technically, when you look at it,
you're an introvert?
You're an introvert?
Are you
yes, sir.
serious?
Yes, sir. I am. And
why are we
because
laughing?
I would much rather be home alone
Oh, yeah?
with my ideas than out sharing it with you in the community.
Wow, so you really coming out.
Yeah,
share,
because
yeah.
I have to go get a drink after this. Every single week. Every single week I'm out, I go right over here to the bar and I'm like, okay, load me up because it's too much energy coming off of me every time I have to do this.
Wow.
But I do it because it's so important, it's so necessary for the business community. So it's very, very important for people to start to realize that whatever gift you have, there's an opposing gift. So you do that SWOT analysis, right? Wherever there's a strength you have, there's a corresponding weakness. Wherever the weakness you have, there's a corresponding strength.
Yes.
And that's how you begin to understand. Same thing for opportunities and threats. Those are things so the SWOT analysis is a great way to start to determine where are the holes in your program. That if you could plug these holes and then start to ask yourself, well, if I had somebody on board who was good at this thing over here, what then could my trajectory of success be?
Okay, right.
Because now you're starting to craft a vision, which is critically important. Because without a vision that people can plug into, buy into, create from, then, people don't know where we're going.
Right.
They won't even know what direction you're going in.
Right.
And your vision may be big. That's okay. You might not ever get there. But it's the journey that people need to have the fun on. It's the journey that people need to enjoy. And it's hard to do that when you don't even know where you're going. And as a leader, you got to be the one that's in charge of the direction. This is all vision does, is it casts direction.
Right.
Tells everybody, here's where we're going. Here's how we're going to get there. So you got to be brilliant at both assessing and attracting the right kinds of talent. Now, the thing to be careful of in the talent game is the personality game. Because there are people out there with magnificent personalities, and they'll make you think, because of the confidence they have in themselves, that they have talent in a direction that you're looking for. And you have to be able to look through that. I watched the show that I encourage all of you to watch called Insight a while back ago. And it's on Netflix. It's a show about insight.
Insight?
Yeah, it's INNSAE. Insight. And it's all about insight. And what they share in that program is our insight or our intuition is like 50-50 at best. And so this is no wonder why we don't trust each other. We don't trust ourselves. Because intuitively we realize it's a best guess kind of scenario. Our gut feeling.
Did you say that's on HBO?
It's on Netflix.
Netflix.
So at our gut feeling, at best guess, it's 50-50. Even after we've had experience, even after we had wisdom, even after we've accomplished so many great things, we can hone it, but it's still 50-50. Because the problem is we keep going back to the same 2% of our brain in order to make things happen. And that's the logical side of our brain.
Okay.
Only 2%. The rest of our brain is relational.
Right. Okay.
We function around what we see, how we touch, what we feel, all that kind of stuff. We literally make emotional decisions more than we make logical decisions. Even our logical decisions are just emotional decisions that we then rationalize. So it's very, very important that you understand when you're searching for talent, you got to blow past this personality thing. Because those people have been trained to be extroverted or to be, whatever it is that personality has to fit to whatever. That's not necessarily naturally them. You're looking for their real, true, natural gifts. You got to look through the first presentation. I always tell people, if you're going to bring somebody onto your team or whatever, and I don't care what you mean by that, your team, you want to interview them 3 times. You want to interview them in their location, on your location and then in a neutral location. You want to see them in different environments and different times of day. It's just like when you buy a new home. You don't go visit that home once and go, this is it. You go visit it at nighttime. You go visit during the day when it's busy, when the kids come home from school, because you want to see the neighborhood. You want to see all the kind of internal functions. It's going to help you make a better decision. So you need to get a sense for people in different things. And also look at their third-party information. People, I love this, on LinkedIn, on social media pages, people who have like no history, no photograph, no testimonials,
Oh, I meet people
no
who aren't
endorsements.
they're not even on LinkedIn.
You know, and they want to connect with you and share resources with you. Like, time out. You're offering nothing.
Yeah.
They're not sharing.
Yeah,
You
they're
know,
not
they're
sharing.
just
Yeah.
collecting.
but you want,
They're collecting.
they're just collecting, right? You know, it's like, that's not how people function.
Right.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to show up a whole person.
Mhm.
And somebody has to vouch for you.
Yeah.
And the more people who vouch for you, the more credibility you have in the space. Now, social media, that's a space, but it's no different than real life space.
Okay.
You know, if somebody was here giving a testimonial about either one of you, about your business and what you do, then all of a sudden the credibility about you in the room goes up 10 notches, because what you can say about yourself pales in comparison to what other people can say about you
Right.
in terms of credibility growth.
Okay.
So the key to winning, and people always try to work around this, the key to winning credibility is to have other people say great things about you.
Right.
Record that, either on video, write it down, or, you know, put it on your website, whatever. But it's third-party influence that makes the deal. I see a couple of my friends out there. Maynard, how's it going, brother? I see you out there, and Carletta's out there too. That's great, guys. I appreciate you. I love you. Thanks for coming in. If you have any questions about anything we're talking about today when it comes to building a wonderful team, let me know, and I'll make sure I will post the answer to your question later on after the broadcast, okay? So thanks a lot for sharing. Okay, the next thing you have to do when you're talking about really developing great teams is your communication game has to be at a high level. It has to be tops. And this is critically important. What do I mean by that? A part of your communication game is knowing the love language of your organization.
Say what?
Know the love language of your organization. What is the communication strategy, technique? How do you want this communication thing to work for you and your team members and people that you want in your universe? Because if there's no common way of thinking, of being, of illustrating, then you're going to lose a lot. I like to use the Marine Corps as an example of this. There's a commonality to how they function, how they speak, what they say about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have common sayings and common things. Every Marine is a rifleman first.
Mm-hmm.
They all know it, believe it, from the time they started.
Mm-hmm.
They spend more time on the shooting range than any other armed forces.
One shot, one kill.
That's a sniper call, right?
That is a
So
sniper call.
these are things that, you know, there's common language that they use that they agree on, and it gives them that esprit de corps.
Mm-hmm.
You know, God, honor, country. These words mean something to that specific set of people.
Right.
You know, semper fi, do or die,
Hoorah.
hoorah. It's all things. They're part of their love language. It's a part of how they identify themselves in the communication process. You have to start doing that. You have to start thinking of what is the love language? What's the keywords? What are the things that make my organization tick that people are going to be attracted to?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll give you a quick hint. The way to get to that is the benefits that you offer your teammates. People will try to recruit people all the time, and they're not clear about what the benefits are about belonging to this team. If you belong to the Marine Corps, they're going to tell you benefit. You are going to be a part of the few, the proud, the brave, the Marines. When you share that information to a testosterone-laden young man, and all of a sudden they get excited, like, ooh, and then you see the commercial of, you know, somebody doing something valorous and exciting. They're hooked. That's their love language.
Okay.
What are the benefits that you offer? to your organization, to your program. One of the benefits I always tell people I offer is when you work with me, you're going to have extremely high levels of productivity, focus like you've never had before, and energy that you don't even know how to contain. Now, if those are benefits that you'd like to have, you probably want to hire me as your coach. Because I can show you how I get to that. And I build programs that focus on that create that, and magnify that over and over and over and over again. But if you don't have that language, that's just what the benefits are. And another good way to think about benefits are what happens after you do what you do. What are the feelings that are associated with what you do? Not the facts and the features. Business professionals are great at facts and features. You know, I'm going to help you with a contract, or I'm going to help you with a product, or I'm going to help you with a service, and that's what I do. That's great, but that's not the benefit.
Okay.
The benefit is what happens after you do what you do. How do they feel once you've done what you've done? Are they more successful? Are they happy? Do they feel safe? Do they feel magnificent? Is that what you create? Do you create that feeling of joy, of glee, satisfaction, safety?
Right.
Those are feelings that you can say, this is the benefit of working with me. But if you just have facts and features, which is what most of us are taught to talk about, these are the facts and features of our program. These are the facts and features of our product and service. This is the service that we offer. That's great, but it doesn't sell.
Right.
There's a mantra that I teach people all the time when it comes to sales. First thing, benefits compel people. Stories sell to people. And facts and features tell. You must present in that order all the time. Benefits, stories, facts and features. But most of us start with the facts and features. We've been around for XYZ years, and we've learned from the best of the best, and we've blah, 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 facts, 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 facts. By the time you put me to sleep, now you want to tell me something meaningful and interesting about yourself. Too late. I'm already asleep.
Benefits, stories, facts, and features.
Right. And you got to talk in those, and when you communicate, you have to talk in that way. Because benefits open up people's brains to the emotional side, which is where they are in the first place. Get right to the emotions. Do you want this benefit? Ooh, I want that benefit. I can see how I can have that benefit. Would you like to teach people how to maximize the value of their real estate properties? Would you like to do that?
Sure.
See, that's the benefit.
Okay, gotcha.
I just opened your brain up to the benefit. Now you're wondering, how are you going to do that? How are you going to help me do that?
Then now you're going to give me the story.
Now I can tell you a story.
Okay, gotcha.
Right? And then we can hit you with some facts and features. I've been teaching people how to do this for the last 20 years, and this is exactly how it works, and blah, 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 blah.
Okay, gotcha.
But you're not interested in those facts and features until you had the benefit.
Okay.
Until you heard the story that was compelling.
Okay. Right.
Make sense?
Makes sense.
So this is what we do. Your communication game has to be on lock. You have to get that down, Pat. You have to have a common understanding of a principle on your team. There are principles that make your team function, that make your team work really, really well, and you must know what those principles are. My favorite principle on my team is the platinum rule. The platinum rule says, do unto others as they would have you do unto them. The golden rule doesn't work. The gold gets tarnished all the time. You have to keep shining that gold up. Because the golden rule says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. The golden rule is selfish. It's all about you.
Right.
The platinum rule is actually the service rule.
Okay.
That's the rule that says, I'm going to do for you what you need to have done for you.
Okay.
The golden rule treats everybody the same. Everybody's not the same.
Right. So
everybody's different.
According to their need.
Right. Everybody's different. If you try to treat everybody the same, then you're treating somebody unfairly.
Right.
Guaranteed. You have. I see smoke coming off the brain there. What are you thinking?
Are you saying you have to treat people the way they want to be treated?
Right.
Okay.
Don't treat them the way you want to treat them.
Yeah.
Treat them the way they want to be treated.
Okay.
Now that's tough. That's tough because
So how you gonna
now
reel
you
that
have
in?
to pay attention.
Yeah, right. You gotta
Right?
reel it in.
Now you have to really be focused on who they are, what
Yeah.
they're all about, why they want what they want.
Mhm.
You have to be interested in them. Another rule I teach people all the time: if you want to be interesting to some people, you have to be interested in them.
Yes.
You have to be willing to first be interested in them if you want them to be interested in you.
Right.
So that means you got to choose wisely, right? Your little circle of influence can only be so big because you can't spend time, effort, and energy with like everybody. Because the platinum rule can't work for everybody. You can't go around just serving up to everybody because you get nothing back at some point.
Right.
You don't even know how to receive, which is a whole different class.
So to do that, to pull that in and pull them out, I guess it depends on. You got to ask questions.
You got to be able to give good questions.
But before that, you got to give them a segue to say, hey, it's going to get kind of uncomfortable.
Yep.
And in this getting uncomfortable, I'm gonna find out things about you, but I'm doing it to go somewhere, to
Right.
take you somewhere. Is that okay? Then
Right.
you gotta ask them, is that okay? And then they come along and then share the benefits.
Trust me, I understand how
Then share the
problematic
story.
this can be.
Right, yeah.
And I wrote a program called True Voice.
Oh wow.
And voice is an acronym, but the whole goal is to get people to tell you who they really are,
Yeah, you gotta peel the layers.
right? And it's
Wow.
14 questions that you ask them. If you ask them these 14 questions, I promise you, you will be the only person on the planet to ever ask them
Okay, where
these
is it?
14
Yeah,
questions.
Yeah.
It's listed
That's
there.
interesting. I think I came across that.
Yeah.
You have that trademarked or
Yes,
something?
yes. And I'll be happy to share it with you. Don't worry about it. After the program,
You
I'll
see
give
I'm
it
looking
to
for
you.
it, right?
But
True
it's right
voice.
there.
Okay.
True voice.
But the point is, with True Voice, it gives you the platform to start to inquire about someone. And you do have to warm them up and say, listen, this is going to sound like an inquisition. But I'm doing this to really get to know you because I'm thinking you might be the kind of person I want on my inner circle. I'm not sure yet. So I'm going to ask you these questions, and it's going to take about 20, 30 minutes. And I'm just going to be, I'm going to ask you questions, and you talk to me, and you tell me what you think about these things, so on and so forth. And you will get a sense for who they are. And they will know that they have communicated to you the real them. So the relationship that might take 5 meetings to actually close up, you do it in minutes. Because you don't have time to piddle around. You know, you have to decide, is this person going to be a trusted member of your team or not? So True Voice is something we created just to make sure that people have everything they need to be. And by the way, those of you online, you want to know what True Voice is all about, instant message me and I'll send it to you. All right, so this is very important. Now, establishing a language, we walk through that. Having a synergizing goal. You can't have 20 goals in your team. I know it's like outside of the whole strategy paradigm, but no football team begins the year with 1,000 goals in mind they're trying to get to. They want to win the Super Bowl. That's the goal. They want to get to the bowl game. That's the goal. Yeah, they know they have to win a whole bunch of games in the meantime, but the big goal, the overreaching thing they all agree on is we want to go to the Super Bowl. So you got to have something that brings the whole team. Because, by the way, if you don't want to go to the Super Bowl, you probably shouldn't be on the team.
You right about that?
You see, the right kinds of goals help you clarify what we're doing. And guess what that goal should be? Singular.
Singular?
Not 10 goals, not 20 goals.
Right.
One big,
Same page.
overreaching, synergizing goal. Now, don't get confused with goals and vision. People do that to me all the time.
Oh, okay.
Vision could be this big, hairy, scary dream that you may never achieve. It just points you in a direction. Goals are specific. They're measurable. They're achievable. They're realistic, and they're time-bound.
Okay.
They're smart. That's a great acronym. I always use that when it comes to goal setting. Now, goals can do a whole bunch of things, but when you look at your goal, it has to be something that everybody agrees on the team. This is specific. We know what it is. It's meaningful. We want it. It's important. It's achievable. We believe we can do it. You know, it's relevant. It's going to be specific. It's going to be something that we really, really desire and love having, and it's timely. It's going to happen in the time that we can relatively predict that this is the time. If your goals aren't smart, then they're not good goals. Now, you also have, when it comes to communication, you have to have a lot of other tools. You have to have a good marketing slogan, some kind of binding thing that brings your team together. You have to have a tagline. I love taglines that say, "I do what for whom. I deliver this benefit for these people." Whatever that market is that you're trying to do. You have to have vision and mission statements. And vision is, destiny. This is where we're going. It's out in the future, right? And the mission is how we're going to get there. Mission needs to tell you what processes and what procedures you might be using to accomplish what you want to accomplish.
Wait, what was the first one? Vision?
Vision and mission.
Vision points to the direction. Mission tells you the steps.
Tells you how.
Okay.
How.
Right. Why. Purpose. Right? This is our mission. Very, very important stuff. Now, you also have to have what I call the big three words. I told you my big three words earlier, right? Productivity, focus, energy.
Okay.
Those are Coach Powell's big three words. But if you were talking to me about the roundtable, which is another program I run, we got another three words. It's communication, it's collaboration, and it's encouragement. Those are the big three words for the roundtable. Whatever you need to do, you need to have, something that brings people together. It's easy for people to understand. And that language is very, very important stuff. But how do you get to that language? Do you make it up yourself?
No, I wouldn't think so.
No, because you got a team. You got to get the team involved with the language. I'm putting together a joint venture team for the roundtable. We meet on Friday mornings. We're meeting this morning. And they came up with this crazy name. And they all have fun with it. And we all laughed. And so we call it the Bacon Group.
The baking group.
Yeah. Like the bacon team, the bacon group.
As in bacon you eat or as in bacon
As in bacon you eat.
Okay.
Because we were all having breakfast eating bacon.
So what about all you bacon?
That's what I said.
You don't cut
That's what I
you don't
said.
cut it around
But they were having a fun time with the bacon group. So that's going to be quietly our name. We're going to be the bacon consulting team.
The bacon consulting team.
What are we doing? We're making bacon. And we had a lot of fun with that.
Okay.
But you have to have these things that you guys just internal stuff. I'm not talking external marketing stuff. I'm talking about internal stuff that brings the team together. And you guys got to create that language collaboratively with each other.
Okay.
You have to ask them questions that help them get to that language, help them visualize it. You also have to have a vision of what success looks like for the team. Because it's great to have a vision. Here's where we're going. It's out in the distance. It's a big dream. But really, when you arrive at that vision, what is going to be happening differently? I ask people vision questions all the time because I believe that vision is the most important thing that any entrepreneur, any person actually can have. What do you feel your destiny is to be? Who do you want to be when you grow up? When it's all said and done and a perfect life is happening for you, what's that going to look like? What's it going to feel like? And you have to be able to describe that. Your team has to want that vision. They have to feel it so badly that they could just almost spit. It's just so important to them to get there. They got to be able to feel that vision. If they can't feel that, then you're not done. You're not done with creating the communication strategy. You got to work on that. You can't even start going anywhere until people are like, we're excited about this vision. And there's a lot to go over. Let me see if I can fast pass some of this stuff. Expectations. We're good on time. Expectations are very important. You have to know what to expect. You have to know what is required. I see Stacy out there. I see Mark out there. All right, my man. Good to see you guys. Thanks for chiming in. You have to know how to make what I call the obvious investment. Everybody on the team has to make an investment. There has to be a reason for the team to come together in the first place, and they have to be putting something in. It might be time. It might be money. It might be talent. A combination of all three. But I call these the T3 investments. Time, talent, and treasure. Right? These are things that people have to be willing to bring to the table if they're going to truly engage in anything. And so everybody in the team needs to know, what are you bringing to the table? What are you really investing in this thing? What are you really bringing to our ability to create and to be something special? Because if you bring nothing to the table, well, you know what they say, nothing ventured, nothing gained. you all invested your time today to come out and hang out with us, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't get anything out of it, you wasted your time.
No,
And
don't do that.
I would feel miserable. But since you're taking notes and asking questions, I'm assuming you're getting something out of it.
Yeah.
You're engaged, right? And it's working. So it's very, very important that you don't just deliver because you want to deliver. You have to deliver something meaningful, something relevant. And everybody has to deliver something meaningful, something relevant if you're building a team. Because the last thing you want is a team member who feels like they don't belong or they don't offer anything special. They don't bring anything to the team. So in the future, we're going to get into onboarding. How do you bring somebody on? How do you make them feel special? How do you help make sure that everybody feels as special about them as they deserve to feel? My cousin Aaron's out there. Hey, Aaron, good to see you, man. Thanks for watching. And it's very, very important, no matter what you do when it comes to establishing a team, people need to feel like they belong to something. This takes a considerable amount of time and energy. And it's emotional energy. As a leader, you have to be willing to expend that energy. You can't shortcut passion and communication. Because if you do, people are automatically going to make assumptions, and they're going to be the wrong assumptions anyway. In order for you to clear up and stay clear, you have to consistent, be on message, be on point all the time. That's why you hear the great leaders, they always have one or two things to say. It's always the same thing over and over again. If it's 20 years, they're saying the same things over and over again. Why is that? The clarity of their message is something they feel passionate about, and they're trying to transfer that passion. And they don't want to deviate.
Right.
They want to know. People, they need to be credible and meaningful, and what people need to hang on to, it needs to be the same. Barack Obama can't start off the campaign saying, yes, we can, and then end up going, I'm not sure.
No.
And then, well, maybe.
Right.
Yes, we can. If it's working, he has to stay with yes, we can.
All the way out.
All the way out. Right. He can't ever say, well, kind of maybe.
Or I thought.
I thought I could. No. I thought we could. He's like, yes, we can. Right. And so, but that's not just a mantra. It's also a call to arms for everybody who's participating in the movement. Because it's yes, we can. You have to have that we language in your team. What are we about? What are we doing? Why are we here? Who are we? And as a leader, you got to come back to it over and over and over and over and over and over again until it sinks into everybody, until almost they can speak your words for you. That's when you know they got it. They're on board. But if you don't do that, then they'll be like pulling teeth. Every time you have a team meeting, every time you go in for something, they're like, oh, we don't know why we're here today. This meeting is so boring. Another meeting. You're going to have that. And you don't want that on your team. You want people who are engaged, who feel passionate about what you're doing, and that's how you want to work that. So the next time we meet, we're going to be talking about some other stuff. We're going to be talking about, let me make sure I know what I'm talking about. We're going to be talking about how to plan with your team, how to get together and make the right kinds of plans. And then we're going to talk about how to execute brilliantly. We have 6 weeks to lay out this whole entire program. This is just the tip of the iceberg. How do you get started? Everything is in the 9-step process. So if you want the 9 steps to mastery, again, I can send that to you. I have no problems with that. You want to talk to me about it, give me a call, 703-201-4267. Or hashtag me, hashtag 9-step-guru. Yes, I'm the guru. And I'd like to talk to you guys and play with you. The last thing I want to share with you is some exercises. These exercises are good for you and your team. And they run a little bit like this. First, you need to have a brainstorming mindset. You have to do lots of brainstorming. You have to ask questions like, what does winning look like for us? What will happen because we win? How will our lives or situations be different when we win? How will we receive the benefits of winning? Your team has to be articulate about these things, right? Again, try the SWOT analysis. Do it together. Where are we strong? Where are we weak? What opportunities can we see? What threats are looming that might affect us? ask those questions, because if you ask those questions and you do that SWOT analysis, you're going to come up with all kinds of diversity, all types of inclusion, all types of ideas that can move you forward. You don't have to do everything that everybody comes up with, but getting it all on the table makes everybody feel like they're included, number one, and it helps you come up with and craft stuff that you know your team is going to back you up with.
Okay.
Because it came from them. They know it came from them. You didn't just sit on the high by yourself in your basement and say, okay, here's the plan. Drop it on the table and say, I'll go to work now. Stinking thinking. It's not going to work. Not in today's economy. It's not going to work. You also need to have an idea of what values and principles that you need to win. Once you have an idea of here's what we're going to do, here's what we're going to do, you have to ask that question. What are the values and principles that we have to hold dear in order to continue this reality, in order to move this forward? Because if we don't have values, if we don't have principles, then we're going to fall. You know that song, if you don't stand for something,
you're going to fall for anything.
You're going to fall for anything.
I know that.
I love that song.
Right.
You know.
That's a song?
Yeah.
I thought it was just Prince.
Yeah, I thought it was just a saying.
You know, it's a rock song.
Wow.
Somebody out there line, tell me who it is. There's somebody who wrote that song. If you're going to stand for something. John Cougar Mellencamp.
Wow.
I don't need y'all. So John Cougar Mellencamp said that. You know, it's a great song.
Okay.
You have to look for fun activities or slogans that keep everybody motivated around your core values. Look for ways to celebrate who you are all the time. And like I said before, the Marines, they have lots of songs, lots of sayings that are all about them and celebration of them, their values and what they bring to the table. When you have a good team, you have that esprit de corps and you love being together. They don't run away from their leaders when they have a good team. They run to the leader because they want to be engaged with the leader. They want to be with the people that you're in. So think about that. If people don't like you, you're done. You're just done.
Yeah.
You know, this is the paradigm. Know me, like me, trust me. It's very linear. If you don't know somebody, it's impossible for you to like them. If you don't like them, it's impossible for you to trust them. So don't try to get to trust before you got into these other things. What do I know about this person? What do I understand about this person? What do I appreciate about this person? What do they know, love, and appreciate about me? Because without that information, you can never get to trust and keep them in the inner circle where they belong. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, time's up. It's 3:55. I'm going to leave you with a quote. This is one of my favorite from the training. I love this quote. This one is from, let me pick one out. Maya Angelou.
Wow.
I love this one. It says, I believe that every person is born with talent. Our job as leaders is to figure out where those gifts are and bring them on board, take them to the next level. But if you're not willing to do that, you're going to suck into today's leadership. It's just not going to work.
Yeah, I need help with that, about spotting the talent in someone. I like what she said because it implies that everybody has a talent.
Right. No? Okay, so we're going to finish off the recording, guys. Thank you all for showing up. If you have any questions about anything that we said, anything we're going to do, feel free to give me those questions. I'll make sure I put them in. I see Marcy's watching. That's great. So good to have some of my friends come through. I really appreciate you guys. Love you much. Bye now.